But now, the look of this final feels very familiar. Even though it's only the third meeting between
16.
these two, it's a final that you think, yeah, I can see why.
Yeah, they haven't really met.
100.
Well, Josh Rock has been at the amazing level that he has, once early last year and once early this year.
140.
Rock winning the one in 2022, actually, before anyone really knew what he might be capable of. He went on
134.
in that tournament, Players' Championship 11 in Barnsley, after beating Gerwyn Price in the last 16. To lose to Ryan Searle in the quarterfinals heavily, 6-0. Better things have come since for Josh Rock.
100.
But with all the hype that's been around him, it's almost a surprise to say that this would only be his second ranking title.
Yeah, that's true.
84. Yes.
They don't hand these titles out, Murph. You've got to win them.
80.
Some players might make it look a little easier than others, but you still got to do the right things at the right times against very tough opponents to chalk one up for yourself.
Well, he's building up to this as if he really fancies taking it out. It's not going to happen. Has lost 3 finals since, Josh Rock. Price has been in a few finals, hasn't he?
Just a few.
99.
This is 53rd. 53 in a very short period of time, and that is a really good start for Gerwyn Price. That double 13 with a little bit of a grunt as well, and we don't mind that in the final because there's no
140.
other games going on, so you're not going to put anybody off, so go hell for leather if you want.
Well, our esteemed commentary colleague Dan Dawson
43.
made the point early today that the fact that Gerwyn Price is here means that he means business. Only 3 of the top 10 played
95.
in this tournament, and Gerwyn Price the highest. Sorry, Peter Wright the highest ranked of them, then
96.
Gerwyn Price in positions 3 and 4. And it's very interesting because Price is one that does pick and choose. So to have travelled to Germany,
96.
particularly after not enjoying his travels to the other side of the world, shows that he's determined to pick up some ranking money and not just maintain
96.
that ranking, but improve it.
And in true Phil Taylor and Michael van Gerwen style, if he was to have a blockbuster couple of days here, because
90.
we know he doesn't have to go to the qualifiers on Monday, he will be going home on Monday, then a certain amount of money, which I'm certain he has set himself as a target,
140.
if he reaches it, he may even take constructive breaks during the autumn, which might be the key to even further success. Tops for Josh.
Does find himself having to shuffle around
50.
when he's on those checkouts like 60 and 80. No shuffling needed here.
101.
He might have been distracted by the fact that that second dart was dangling.
Game
But it is
shot.
1-1. This has got the potential of being a really good final. You mentioned Rock has got 1 of these titles.
100.
So he's going for his second. Price is going for his 14th in Players' Championships alone. And his first in 2023.
140.
It hasn't been in a final since the Premier League, when everybody kind of thought that he was going to win it, and Michael van Gerwen had other ideas, didn't he?
Yeah, didn't he just?
But you look at
99.
the Roll of Honour in the big ones this year, and not to see Price's name on it, bearing in mind the level of darts he's been producing,
134.
it's quite remarkable.
I think about his career when he picked up his first PDC title. Back in 2016, he won twice
81.
that year. Then he had to wait for another Players' Championship victory until 2019, but he's won every season since then. And in a funny
130.
sort of way, he's the kind of person to me that can be motivated by streaks. Just look at what he's done in Risa,
124.
for instance. How many times is he going to have to win that tournament before it's renamed the Gerwyn Price Invitational?
Double 19 for double top. That's
shot.
the kind of thing he likes to do. And he just showed Gerwyn Price a little bit of something there. Just wait for the reaction. There you see a half turn towards Price. Not sure he's the type of player you want to lure into those games.
No, I don't think you do. Some players don't like going toe-to-toe
57.
in that regard, but some really enjoy it, and Price enjoys it.
180.
There would have been a few players chomping at the bit to get back after disappointing spells at Blackpool. It was a remarkable tournament in which many of the favourites were beaten
85.
early. But Josh Rock was also an early victim, beaten by Damon Heta, despite all the
57.
hype around Rock in Blackpool. And it's a good return, isn't it? Similar to what Rob Cross did, another man who lost in the first round, by going and winning 2 tournaments
25.
down under.
It's a long season. You can't be judged by just one visit to an iconic venue. It's about what you
81.
do in a 12-month period. Josh has already had a decent season. He mentioned he's lost in 3 finals, but the fact that he's disappointed
140.
at the first 8.5 months of his season with 3 finals is a mark of where he wants to be.
123.
And Price likely to break straight back here.
100.
Single 20. Now having to move. You can see maybe 2/3 of the bed.
Game shot.
He can find it, and it's all square.
This is a good final. Good standard. A little bit of testosterone out there as well, which we don't mind. Breaks of throw, 1 each. Legs, 2 each. 2 in the 60. And don't be surprised if you were to get a perfect leg in this game.
180.
Don't be surprised at all. And that's no surprise, because coming into this final, Price had 20 maximums. Now he's got 2-2
100.
maximums in a 2-2 game.
Well, just having to wait for Josh Rock to get out of the way there. And then he's back in. Only 4 perfect darts. Had 5 perfect darts in the
100.
semi-final against Richie Eddhouse, and the 6th just flicked the wrong side of the treble.
Yeah, I just wonder if dart 4, which was in the 60, just flattened out a little bit and just stopped him from
135.
having that ability to nestle it under. See, that one's a better angle. The first dart of the previous visit was flatter than that.
85.
A couple of times he's gone for the ball and not even found the 25 in this match, hence the wow uttered by the Iceman.
87.
Oh, I love this route for 136.
Yeah, has been doing that as well, was doing it in the semis.
85.
Keeps having a little look around him. I'm not sure he's overly impressed with his perceived antics of Josh Rock. I'm not saying that there are any, but Price just did have a little
59.
glance behind him then.
It's a very quiet room. There's only 2 players left in it. Double 15 this time for Price.
Game
And he
shot.
finds it as well. An inadvertent double-double for a 3-2 lead.
Well, now Rock stopping and re-gripping.
I'll be hoping he doesn't have to stop the rot later.
Price really did. He lost 4 straight legs in that semi-final against Richie Eddhouse. I mentioned that Rock had it easy against Danny Van Truyt, but
59.
hasn't had it easy all day. Had to come back from 4-1 behind in his first match against Jeffrey Desvan. Won 5 straight legs to get the win there, and then Connor Scott
60.
took him to a last leg decider as well.
The thing that fascinates me about tournaments like this,
125.
especially for the likes of Van Tripe and Eddhouse, is that it's really, really hard to make semi-finals. Danny had never made one. Eddhouse is only making his 2nd.
98.
But the complexity of rankings and the way that the money works in a tournament like this is if you win that semi-final, it's like making
44.
another semi-final.
Yeah, I think that one missed dart for Eddhouse, that would have been a double your money dart, that. From 4,000 to 8,000.
95.
But in the words of John Rahm overnight, who's at the golf in Atlanta, Georgia, Players don't think about the money. They think about
103.
winning. That's all they think about, especially when you're in the advantageous position of these guys in the rankings. They just want that one more on their profile of Players' Championship wins.
83.
Well, this would be an important weight, an exciting weight, a brilliant weight to pull clear.
145. Game shot.
Well, it's 3-3.
60.
It's a really good kill. A 68 from Josh Rock. And Price pays the price for missing the bull.
121.
So all square again. Nothing between them all throughout the match so far, and
58.
you may expect it to finish 8-7.
I said to you off the air, didn't I, that I expected at least 13 legs in this final.
58.
I think I'm wrong. I think there's going to be more.
They play at a very similar rhythm,
134.
don't they? Price and Rock, so that should breed the best. And we are seeing a very high standard decider here. Price averaging 99.
60.
Coming into this leg, Josh Rock not far behind him in that metric.
134.
Something on the line here for the Iceman as well. If he wins this tournament, he would become only the second three-time winner in ranking tournaments this year. The other one being the absent Dirk van
180.
Dijvenbode. All of the other multiple champions this year, of which there are plenty, 8 in fact, have won 2 titles.
75.
That's just ranked tournaments, not your World Series events or Premier League, anything like that. This is double 16, and it's for a break of throw as well. It's massive.
Well, it was a brilliant pressure piling maximum from Rock to give himself this opportunity.
66.
He actually saw Price fluff his lines, but Rock does the same on the double.
Game
And
shot.
Price rarely does on that double.
Somewhat subdued testosterone there from Gerwyn, because I think one thing that he's learned more than anything else over the last, let's be fair,
58.
6 years is adrenaline management. There were a lot of games where he was full
60.
throttle all the time, but I think what he's learned is how and when it's most important. I think in finals like this, just a clinch of the fist is enough,
123.
because he's going to need that extra adrenaline boost maybe a little bit later on.
41.
And I think that's something that a lot of players are going to have to learn as well when it comes to especially big stage darts.
60.
Well, Rock not happy, but lucky for him that Price hasn't found his range in this leg yet.
140.
Maybe has now, and in doing so, squares up the leg. Rock is trying to square up the final.
This is excellent. And when Price looks up and sees that,
180.
just as he equalises the score, he thinks, how do I get rid of you?
60.
Rock is being pesky.
So for 4-4, double 10. Yeah, really good
Game
stuff,
shot.
really good final. All square, 8 legs played, potentially 7 remaining.
If there's one thing today
97.
that really has impressed me about Josh, it's been those 2 visit kills at vital times today. Against Connor Scott, 277 in 5 darts.
180.
And then in the semi-final, 268 in 5. There, 260 in 6 darts.
140.
You have to do that.
Yeah, that one Paul said against Connor Scott was in the deciding leg of that match. That's how crucial that was. This is not what the doctor ordered, though. After starting the leg with the
21.
maximum, Josh Rock has We're in a real mess there. And now Gerwyn Price is looking for one of those kills himself.
180.
That's just typical, isn't it? He starts with a maximum, then he gets 21. And then he has to watch the Iceman get a maximum of his own to give him a taste of his own medicine.
140.
The focus from both players is remarkable.
I love this. That was typical Price.
74.
But if Rock takes this, the pendulum swings. Just misses north.
100.
And he knew that that was a big moment. You could see in his micro reaction there. Can Price pin? Rock can't watch.
5.
But he will hear 5. And he will smell blood. Will he land tops?
40.
Chances missed by both. We are at the midpoint of this final. It's not all about 170 finishes. Sometimes it can be as small as 5.
Game shot.
Look at that. A celebration for a double one. It doesn't matter how big the checkout is, as long as you get it. That's a huge shot for that 5 checkout.
And for me, I think it shows that Gerwyn Price is really
80.
match smart. He knows how big a moment that could be. And how big a moment it potentially should have been for Josh Rock. So he wanted to let him know about it. You've just missed your
140.
chance, mate.
Probably says bud a lot in South Wales.
140.
Plenty of representation from South Wales here today. Nick Kenny, Robert Owen, Richie Burnett.
140. 100.
This is the kind of final that you can get lost in. It's the kind of game, it's a really good slugfest that you don't want to end. You're just too busy having fun, going backwards and forwards. We're still waiting for somebody to get a 2-leg cushion to say, it's my final to win.
100.
Well, Rock may have missed his big moment. This could be Price's. This could be Price's. A shake of the head from Rock.
80.
Again, he comes up short on that double 5.
It was an aggressive try, that. Could have been really defensive on the double 5, but he thought he had one shot and one shot only. Was he right? He was wrong.
56.
And guess what? He's going for another 5 checkout.
Last time he came inside and then pinned the double 1.
Game
This
shot.
time, he doesn't have to go that far. And now, he's 2 up and 2 away from taking the big prize.
I guess he has got a bit of a sense of humour sometimes when it comes to things
96.
within games. And if you'd have said to him in 10 legs of this final, albeit undecided, that he would have 2 checkouts of 5, he'd probably be laughing at you.
140.
Because it's very unlikely to see it. But they are squeezing that treble 20 for all its juice.
Yeah, they're both in the zone. They're both enjoying it. We're enjoying it. I'm sure you are as well.
Well, Rock in season 2 of his tour
140.
card.
You think he'll keep it?
Oh, I think he's pretty safe, yeah. But remember what happened in the
61.
second season of Luke Humphreys 2.0. He went from winning every final he played, well, pretty much every final he played, because he lost one to Josh Rock, to
105.
losing a streak of finals, and then it was broken when he defended the European darts match play in Trier. Rock
130.
wants to stop the rot of 2023 of losing finals.
This is enormous.
76.
And now Price has his eyes on the 91. Rock missing the opportunity to break. Well, he's got to rescue this. Treble 16. Can't find it. So could be hoist by his own
35.
petard here.
There's a play on words there in your statement. Instead of eyes on the prize, it's ice on the price. This has got to go in. And it does
shot.
with a wonderful deflection, but he did have the perfect guide for it.
He looked a little confused as to whose throw it was next, but that might give him even more confidence learning that he's just broken.
The thing that confused him is because Price had that 2-leg cushion. The pattern of the game had been broken. this circle that they walk in, if you're constantly holding all the time
81.
or constantly breaking, you get into a certain thought and second pattern. And that was broken by the break. So when Rock breaks back,
140.
it's not a surprise to me that he feels a little confused about the rhythm of the match.
100.
I guarantee you, if Price was on something that started with a 1 here, he would start on the bullseye on 315. Because you want 145 plus
96.
to try and leave a finish. But with Price in the same vicinity, starting 60 was the right player.
It's been a real good response
60.
to Josh Rock. Could have been broken in more ways than one, but he's bounced back here. And looks set to tie up the game at 6 apiece. Remember, first to 8 in this final. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
25.
The door has just been opened.
He wants that 140 badly and he gets it.
140.
Looking for another killer. 2-visit kill. But if he takes it out and stops
135.
Josh from getting a shot at 59, it will be within 1. Just gets the single. Doesn't get the
100.
double. Now, Josh Rock hit treble 5 with his last dart. If he got single 5, this would have been a much more difficult shot.
What interests me is, again, he wasn't looking. He has no idea how close Price was.
39.
But now he'll be expecting to hear game shot. That double 5 again, it hasn't been a friend to him. And maybe this time the aggressive dart wasn't the right play.
So ironic that that's the double that won him his world title. And it's cost him so many shots.
And it may hurt him here.
10.
But it doesn't.
Just a little plateau in performance on the
Good
outer
shot.
ring, but that's put right by Price, who restores that 2-leg advantage, and in doing so, moves within 1 of the win.
One
One of the worst things you can say to a player if they lose a final like this is, and it is applicable to Josh Rock at the minute, you had your chances. It just feels like someone's
59.
twisting the knife. But the fact of the matter is, Josh has had opportunities in this game.
It's been a
59.
good day's darts for Gerwyn Price, making the decision to make the trip here to Hildesheim,
134.
beating Radek Chagansky in his first match, then Tony Martinez, Nick Kenny's compatriot, Jamie Hughes, who took him to a last leg decider,
180.
for demolishing Jeff Smith and then getting the better of Richie Edhouse on a 180 in what he hopes is the last leg of the match. Doesn't leave a finish. Josh Rock
128.
couldn't manage to leave one either.
He could have got the score that Price actually had, but I think going for the 60 there was the right shot.
122.
It's remarkable from Price to leave tops after 12. It is a guaranteed shot. No matter what Josh does here, he can't stop Gerwyn Price in his quest
160.
for a 14th Players' Championship victory.
And Gerwyn
Game
Price
shot and the championship.
prevails at the Players' Championship once again. It may not have been top price throughout the tournament, but he's good value for the win. He defeats Josh Rock, 8-5 in the final. There you see the numbers, both players in that mid-90s range in the averages. But Gerwyn Price won the big moments and won the big prize once again. Another final run for Josh Rock. He waits for a second title. Gerwyn Price continues to increase his ever-growing haul, getting the job done in the final, and we're going to hear from him now.
Price, our champion, Players' Championship 17. Some good darts throughout the day. Close shave a couple of times. Jamie Hughes and Richie Edhouse in the semis.
Yeah, I scraped through a few games, even in this final. You know, I'm not at my best, but I'm winning, so that's all that matters. Yeah, I came here, didn't know where my game was. I haven't been in many ranking events over the last couple of months, but yeah, to win this one gives me a good boost of confidence, and looking forward to tomorrow.
Well, talk to us about your decision to come here, because obviously a number of the top 10 aren't here. Some have been down under with you. Their spots in the big TV tournaments coming up for assured. Is this about getting sharp, or did you just feel, I want some more titles?
No, definitely about getting sharp. I mean, I've been in some events over the last couple of months, but they're not ranked and don't really mean much. And these are the sort of events that get me sharp. Even though today I don't think I've played anywhere near where I can. But I played some good darts at times when it mattered. And yeah, it was 2 or 3 games where I probably could have lost, been bombed out of the tournament. But yeah, these are the tournaments that you need to be playing in if you want to be sharp, if you want to win tournaments, if you want to win majors, you need to come to these.
Josh Rock, obviously in the final. I think that's his 4th appearance in a final this year. First time he's played you in a big deciding game in a tournament. Are you anticipating running into him in the latter stages of some tournaments towards the end of the year as well?
Yeah, I mean, Josh a great player. I mean, he's still a youngster, and he's like I said, fantastic player. But yeah, hopefully we meet in a couple of finals. If I get there, I don't mind meeting him. But yeah, Josh wasn't at his best today. Neither was I. It was whoever took their chances, and a couple of missed doubles here and there. And yeah, thankfully I took my opportunities a little bit more than what he did.
Obviously, you've been quite willing to sort of pick and choose a few tournaments this year, because you've been so busy with things like the Premier League. You're in pretty much everything. So this back end of the year, is it foot to the floor, playing everything, or are you still looking for where you can get that rest?
I spoke to the boys on the table earlier. James Wade and Aaron Monk sat on the table. And as soon as my property's finished, I mean, honest, I've been so up against it the last 2 years, trying to get the house finished and everything. As soon as this is done, I'm hitting everything. I'm going to all the Pro Tours, all the Europeans. So over the next 2 years, I'm going back to where I used to be, and that's hitting everything, getting as sharp as I can, and hopefully back to world #1 within the next 2 years.
So that's very much the sort of long-term target. I mean, winning the World Championship
not so much getting to world #1, but just playing good darts, getting to the latter stages of big events. If you win the Worlds, then you're in a running for a world #1. So yeah, I want to win the Worlds this year. I want to start playing a lot more than what I have. I'm playing in a lot more ranking events, because I've missed so many. But yeah, back end of this year and the next 2 years, I'm going all guns blazing.
Peter Wright's talked about it recently. He says that I've skipped a bit too much, and it's probably affected my game. Do you have to playing more and winning more? It does keep you sharp, doesn't it?
Definitely these. I mean, I've played 7 good games today. You know, I've been up against it. I've played some good darts in patches, but you know, when my back's against the wall, I've had to come out fighting. So yeah, these are the events that you need to play in if you want to win majors, because this is what gets you sharp. You can miss as many of these as you want in Europeans, but you won't win majors then, because you need to be sharp. So yeah, I'm going to hit a lot more of these, as many Europeans as I can next year, and get back to my best.
And there we go, Gerwyn Price, underlining the importance of the Players' Championships. He takes his first Players' Championship title of the year. It's his 3rd in total, with a couple of Euro tours that he picked up earlier on this year, and he'll be back tomorrow to try and make it back-to-back. We'll see you then. Our coverage 1 p.m. local time, 12 p.m. in the UK. See you then.